Alright, imagine this for a second. You're chilling in one of the quietest neighborhoods in Cork. Tea still warm, nothing dramatic happening. And then boom, your whole street suddenly decides to audition for a full-on horror movie. No warning, no build-up, just pure unexpected chaos in the middle of the calm. So let's meet the people in this story because trust me, once things start rolling, you're gonna want to know who's who. First up, Stella Gallagher, 59 years old, a retired chemical engineer, the kind of person who spent decades solving complicated problems in pharmaceutical labs, and now suddenly finds herself living through a problem nobody could ever prepare for. Quiet life, nice home, normal evening. Nothing suspicious until the universe decides otherwise. Then we've got her husband, Brian Gallagher, 63, also retired and formerly a director in a major engineering firm. The man literally spent his career making sure complicated projects didn't fall apart. And here he is facing a real-life situation that absolutely refuses to stay under control. He's calm, he's steady, but even he couldn't predict what was coming down the driveway. And finally, the third character in this very Irish plot twist. A 25-year-old man who actually knows the Gallaghers. Yep, not a stranger. Not a random person wandering in from the wild. Someone familiar. Because this is Ireland, where the classic saying is basically, if you don't know your neighbors personally, give it a minute, you probably will. This is the trio at the center of the chaos, a retired couple settling into a peaceful evening, and one young man about to turn that peace into the wildest, most unexpected nightmare Cork has seen all week. Alright, so picture the scene. It's Monday evening in Shrewsbury Downs, one of those Cork neighborhoods where even the dogs seem polite. The kind of place where the loudest thing you usually hear is a kettle boiling. Stella and Brian are just living their best retired life routine, probably thinking about nothing more dramatic than what's for tea. And then bam, the entire vibe collapses in seconds. Out of nowhere, the 25-year-old man they know shows up at their door holding a knife. Not a pop in for a chat moment. Not a can I borrow a charger situation. Nope, this is straight up wrong house energy. The piece goes from zero to chaos faster than you can say Ballinlough Road. The danger is instant. The shock is real. And the Gallaghers don't even hesitate, they run. Not a jog. Not a dramatic slow motion run. We're talking real life move now mode. Stella darts out first, heading straight to a neighbor's house. Brian stays outside, trying to draw attention away from her, because that's who he is. Steady, protective, trying to keep control, even when the situation has clearly left the chat. It's the moment where a quiet Irish evening turns into something nobody saw coming. And trust me, this is only the start of the madness. Alright, so here's where the story goes from terrifying to wait, what? In about 2 seconds flat. Stella's inside the neighbor's house trying to get to safety. Brian's outside doing everything he can to pull the danger away from her. And the attacker? He does something that absolutely no one could have predicted. He looks around, sees the nearest object, and goes for a flower pot. Yes, a garden decoration. A literal piece of pottery meant for begonias. And he just grabs it like it's some kind of bonus level weapon pickup. Man saw a flower pot and said, yep, this is the upgrade I need. Like he's speed running a video game called Home Invasion %. And then bam, he smashes it straight through the neighbor's window. Glass everywhere, shouting. Confusion? This is no longer a normal Irish evening. This is suburban chaos Cork edition. Inside the house, everything turns upside down. Outside, Brian is still trying to keep the danger on him instead of Stella. And Stella? She manages to slip out again while the attacker's busy breaking windows with home decor. This right here is the moment where the entire neighborhood realizes, yet this night has officially gone off the rails. And somehow, unbelievably, it's about to get even more chaotic. So after the whole window smashing with a flower pot moment, you'd think the chaos would cool down a bit. Nope, Not even close. Stella manages to slip out of the neighbor's house again and she starts running. Not jogging, not speed walking. Running like someone who knows this is her only chance to get away. Brian follows behind, still trying to pull the danger toward himself and away from her, because the man is basically running on pure courage at this point. And the attacker is not stopping. He chases Stella right out of the estate and toward this small green area about 50 yards from the house. You know, the kind of peaceful little patch where kids usually play football. A few dogs wander around. And the biggest drama is someone forgetting to pick up after their Labrador. Well, tonight that green area becomes the final chapter of this whole nightmare. Neighbors start shouting for help. Lights flip on all over the estate. People peek out windows like, wait, what is happening on our street right now? It's one of those surreal moments where everything familiar suddenly feels wrong. A quiet, peaceful neighborhood turned into the backdrop of a chase no one could ever expect. And just when you think this night can't escalate any further. Oh, it absolutely does. Because someone's about to call in the big guns literally. The guards are on their way. And the armed support unit is rolling in. So while the neighborhood is in full panic mode, people shouting, lights flipping on, dogs probably barking because they sense the madness, someone finally gets the call out to the guards. And Cork doesn't send just anyone. No. They send the armed support unit via suit, aka the squad that shows up when things have officially gone way past, sure, it'll be grand. These officers pull into Shrewsbury Downs like it's the final round of a video game. Dark uniforms, serious faces, zero hesitation. And then boom, the suspect is detained right there at the scene. No chase, no dramatic standoff, just done. The knife is found nearby. Officers secure the area like they've done this 1,000 times. But here's the part that really shows the human side of the response. While some ASU officers are dealing with the suspect, others immediately start giving aid to Stella and Brian. Neighbors watch from driveways and windows as officers begin life-saving efforts. Moments later, advanced paramedics from the HSE arrive and take over. Brian is rushed to Cork University Hospital with severe injuries but survives. Stella is brought in too, but sadly passes away later that night. The entire estate falls into that stunned silence you only hear after something truly awful has happened. Meanwhile, the suspect, the 25-year-old man they knew, is taken straight to the Bridewell Garda station for questioning. Section 4 of the Criminal Justice Act kicks in, meaning investigators can hold him for up to 24 hours. A full murder investigation begins immediately. It's the kind of ending to the chase that hits hard. Quick, decisive, and leaving every single person in that neighborhood wondering, what exactly led to all of this? And trust me, that's where the real detective work begins. Alright, so once the scene is secured and the ASU has the suspect in custody, the whole case shifts gears. This is where the detective work kicks in, the slow, meticulous, let's figure out how this even happened part. First step, the guards lock down the entire area. 3 main locations become the focus. The Gallagher home, the neighbors smashed in window, and the green area where everything ended. Forensics move through the scene like a quiet storm, gloves, cameras, markers, the whole deal. They recover a kitchen knife believed to be the weapon. They document the broken window. They retrace every step of the attack as carefully as possible. Meanwhile, the suspect, the 25-year-old man known to the Gallaghers, is being questioned under Section 4. That gives investigators up to 24 hours to figure out what exactly led to this moment, and why a calm evening turned into absolute chaos. Here's where the story gets that subtle detective tone. Stella and Brian weren't random targets. They were respected engineers. They had spent decades working in pharmaceuticals and major Irish engineering projects. They had raised 4 adult children. They lived quietly. They retired peacefully. They absolutely weren't involved in anything shady or dramatic. So investigators are left with a hard question. What was the motive? Why would someone they knew turn up with a knife? What happened before 9 that night? No rumors, no wild speculation, just the facts. The suspect was known to them. He was arrested at the scene. And the guards are piecing together the timeline bit by bit. Brian is still in Cork University Hospital recovering from surgery, and detectives are waiting for doctors to give the green light so they can speak to him. Because he is the one person who saw the entire chain of events from start to finish. It's the calm after the storm, the moment where the chaos settles, and all that's left is the slow, steady work of uncovering what really happened that night in Shrewsbury Downs. H final twist ending extended RWJ style YouTube safe. So here's where everything in this story pulls together, and where the quiet detective style ending hits harder than any twist. In the days after the attack, Shrewsbury Downs goes back to looking exactly the way it always does. Calm, clean, perfectly ordinary. Kids heading off to school, people walking their dogs, neighbors chatting over hedges like nothing ever happened. But now there's this strange silence hanging over the place. A kind of everyone knows but no one knows what to say feeling. The green area, the same patch of grass where the final moments played out, looks completely normal again. No sign of the chaos, no broken glass, no flashing lights, just grass and routine and life moving on. And that right there is your final twist. Because the real shock isn't in the chase, or the smashed window, or even the Asu storming in like they spawned from thin air. The real shock is how fast a peaceful place can return to looking peaceful, even though everything has changed for the people at the center of it. A perfect little Irish neighborhood, the kind where nothing ever happens, now holds a story that no one there will ever forget. And the biggest mystery still hangs in the air. Why did a man they knew show up that night? What pushed this calm Monday evening into absolute chaos? Investigators are still piecing that together slowly, carefully, fact by fact. But the neighborhood, it already looks normal again. Because sometimes the real horror isn't the chaos you see. It's how quickly it disappears, leaving only the questions behind.